What's going on, everybody? It's Chip Bolton. I'm on the porch of Chop and Brew. Elsa and baby Jonas are inside having a bottle of not beer. I am on the porch having a very special beer. This is Janet's Brown Ale, and I want to tell you about a project that some of us have going on ahead of Big Brew Day, the AHA Big Brew Day for Saturday of May. A project we have going on, and it's all about Janet's Brown Ale. It is a project wrapped around and centered around this beer. So randomly enough, I'm drinking this out of a very appropriate glass because if you can tell, it's kind of hard to see, but this is the commemorative beer glass that came from the Brewing Network Northern Brewer pre-NHC party in 2010, which is a first of a lot of things. My first NHC period, my first NHC for Northern Brewer, first time like getting a chance to be like a videographer, homebrew video nerd, and such a epic, like marquee kind of event situation covering it as media. But most importantly, potentially to this is the first time I ever met Tasty McDole, obviously of the Brewing Network and obviously of the Doe's Homebrew Club, who won Club of the Year. I remember that year. So real quick, if you don't know, Janet's Brown Ale is a recipe from this book, Brewing Classic Styles. In it, Jamil Zainasheff, he lays out a recipe for your true style American brown ale, but then he drops Janet's Brown Ale, which is a Mike Tasty McDole recipe in honor and tribute of his wife, who he lost to cancer, and then we all lost Tasty to cancer last fall. So what the AHA decided to do for Big Brew Day, May 1st, you know how they usually recommend 2 or 3 recipes this year to honor Tasty. They made Janet's Brown Ale one of the suggested recipes that people all over the world brew and kind of tabulate for this epic group brew on May 1st. So the recipe that they put out is actually kind of a bigger version that I guess Tasty won a medal with at one point. It's kind of, they almost call it Imperial, even though it's just a little bit bigger. So some friends and I are going with the OG recipe from Brewing Classic Styles, and we are going to brew not only the beer, but we're brewing like a series of 8 variants, and we're brewing them now. The idea is most people, the AHA is like wants you to brew it on May 1st, but we're brewing it ahead of time. And we're going to do a Zoom tasting note in mid-April with the point of kind of getting some of these variants out there should people want to brew a take on Janet's Brown Ale. We're definitely not trying to like overshadow the OG recipe, because the OG recipe is an award winner. It has been brewed by homebrewers all over the world. It's been brewed by pro breweries, pro-am, but we just kind of want to get inspired. And instead of doing like, oh, let's all do Janet's Brown Ale and do a different hop or a different yeast or this, that, and the other thing, we got inspired to take the actual concept of the beer. So what I'm drinking right now, this is Paul Fowler's most recent batch of Janet's Brown Ale brewed to spec from the recipe. So this is kind of the control group. He's brewing it again for our project, but as dumb luck would have it, it was also most recently brewed by him. If you've never had this beer, it's like someone today in our thread called it like a brown IPA, and it kind of gets to that. It's this very like malty, slightly chocolatey malty. You can see the color is really light. It's not like the brown ale that you would think, like a black IPA, or even like I can't think of what like the style would be. It's almost like a Newcastle kind of color and malt impact, but it's got these cascades and these centennials that make it this very West Coast thing. Sort of kind of like Tumbler, if y'all remember that autumn ale from Sierra Nevada, but that wasn't nearly this smooth and clean in my opinion. So this is an awesome beer. So what we're doing is Paul Fowler is brewing again for part of this project. He's doing an all grain to spec per the book. I'm going to do the extract per spec in the book. In the book and in Tasty's brewing, he used, Chico strain. So Paul Illa's flipping the script on that a little bit, doing a partial mash and a grain father. He's fermenting with Voss Kvike. He's been sending pictures. That thing was done in like 20 hours. or something like that, something crazy. Brian Adams, badass Brian Adams, is doing an all-grain 10-gallon batch, splitting 5 and putting it on some hickory staves, 5 and putting it on maple staves. Our boy, Barry Salem, Horse Blanket Barry Salem, he's doing an all-grain, he's kind of doing Janet's honey brown ale. He is always adding honey to beers. He's a habitual honey adder, you could say. So he's doing the honey brown ale. Our boy Chuck Gosnell kind of flipped the script a little bit and kind of made it a ye old English, ye old Anglo-American brown ale. He subbed out the specialty malts, which are for the most part like American version, and he subbed in kind of like the Simpsons or the Crisp, the English version, and then also fermented with like Imperial House, I believe. So we're getting an Englishy kind of take on Janet's, which I think is going to work out really well, considering kind of how in the wheelhouse of Newcastle, or on the fringe of a Newcastle like beer this is. And then finally, our boy Leaf is doing an all grain and a grain father, but he's adding some smoked malt. So that's going to be Janet's smoked brown ale. So yeah, I just wanted to do this quick video just to let y'all know something cool that we're working on. So we've all either brewed it or are brewing it in the next couple of days. It's now mid-March. The idea is we're going to ship Barry Salem. Everybody doing this is from Minnesota except for Barry. So we're going to collect all the beers. We're going to send Barry a box to Milwaukee. Barry's going to send a box from Milwaukee to us, and we're going to do a Zoom tasting note in mid-April. The idea is to get this out both as just like a tasting note and kind of like I don't know if I'd call it an experiment, but a variant taste panel, and then hopefully inspire and encourage people to brew either the OG recipe, the AHA's bumped up recipe, or one of our wacky recipes for Big Brew. So we'll get those tasting notes out hopefully at least a week before May 1st. So the ingredients, recipes are there should people want to do that. I would also just say I'd encourage you, brew Janet's brown ale now and drink it on Big Brew Day. Maybe brew it again then. But like if you want to play along, man, get the book or go to the AHA website and see their version and put your own twist to it. Maybe just do a yeast. Maybe do some new generation hops instead of the Cascade and Centennial. I could see all kinds of fun riffs on this, obviously, as we've come up with. So much love to Tasty. That's the bottom line. Big Brew or not, variants or not, big love to Tasty and his family. His son's been very nice to keep the Tasty heads abreast of kind of any plans that there might be for a kind of a memorial or a party in his honor, since we couldn't do anything last fall. We're looking to this fall. But yeah, I don't know. Much love, Brewing Network. Much love, BNNB. That was such a good time. That was just like a great way to meet someone like Tasty for the first time. Like a West Coast hurricane of personality, just like in your backyard. Good times. Paul Fowler, also always knocking it out of the park. Chop for chop. Brew for brew. Stay tasty, y'all.